Welcome back to TalkBacks, where fake friends get real consequences and freeloaders finally pick up the tab. Today's episode is all about those people who take too much, lie too loud, or think you'll never call them out. First, a guy who built his dating life on someone else's success until the lies caught up with him in front of the wrong crowd. Then, a lifelong freeloader finally gets to host a dinner and finds out what it's like when everyone else forgets their wallet. And finally, a lazy classmate dodges all the hard work until he has to present it solo to a furious professor. Let's begin. Some people lie because they're scared. Some lie because they want attention. And then there's Mark, who lied for sport, using my entire life as his personal brand. I've known Mark for years. We met in high school and stayed close through college. After graduation, I landed a decent tech job, got a used BMW, and started working on a startup with a mentor. Mark wasn't doing much. He was figuring things out. No shame in that, until I realized he was figuring it out by pretending to be me. It started when I ran into this girl at a bar, Cassidy. She smiled and said, "So, you're Mark's co-founder, right?" I blinked. "What? You two just raised $1 million, right? That's amazing." "$1 million what?" Then she laughed and said, "Mark told me the BMW is your company's car, but he lets you drive it because he's humble like that." That's when I knew. Mark had been going around telling girls he was me. I started checking around. And sure enough, he'd been using all of my stories as his own. He told people he lived in a loft by the river. That's my place. He said his company was scaling and hiring when he wasn't even employed. He said he keeps things low-key and doesn't like showing off. This while posting selfies in front of my car. I wasn't even mad. I was impressed and slightly horrified. So I gave him a chance to show off properly. One of my old professors was throwing a small mixer. Just alumni, investors, startup folks, people who knew what was real and who really did what. I invited Mark. Told him there might be people looking for new companies to invest in. He was all in. That night, I gave the heads up to the hosts. I told them, let him talk. Just don't interrupt. Mark walked in like he owned the building, wearing a blazer and that special brand of confidence only liars seem to have. He started holding court, talking about scaling tech, seed rounds, venture capital, hiring. Words he probably learned on TikTok. People nodded, smiled, listened. But they already knew the truth. After a while, the host said, "Hey Mark, why don't you tell everyone about that big investor meeting? The one where you and your co-founder closed your first round." Mark paused. "Oh yeah, that was wild," he said, looking at me like I might save him. I didn't. Then someone else said, "Wait, weren't you the UI guy on that team? Or are you CTO now?" Another chimed in. "Didn't you say you lived above the yoga studio near the train station? When did you move to the riverfront loft?" Mark's face changed. He realized what was happening. Every single person there had already heard the real version of his stories. He muttered something about getting a call and bolted. Nobody stopped him. I didn't have to say a word. No drama, no confrontation. Just the truth and the right audience. He never brought it up again. Stopped texting. Deleted every post that made him look like a startup founder with a fancy car and a riverfront view. Last I heard, he works in IT at a mid-sized firm. Quiet, civil, and, hopefully, telling stories that actually belong to him. You can fake your resume. You can fake your lifestyle. But in a room full of people who earned theirs, you can't fake respect. Up next, a guy who never paid for dinner until his birthday dinner came with a check he didn't see coming. You know that one friend who always forgets their wallet? Yeah, that was Ryan. Funny guy. Big smile. Great with stories. Terrible with checks. I don't mean once or twice. I mean every single time. We'd go out for burgers. "Oh shoot, can you spot me this one? I'll Venmo you later." He never did. Ramen night? He forgot his card. Sushi? "Dude, I'm short this week. Can you grab it?" It became a pattern. He'd show up hungry, order like a king, and always have an excuse when the bill landed. And the thing was, we all knew it. But no one ever called him out directly. We're guys, passive, aggressive loyalty is practically a sport. Someone would grumble, someone else would cover, and the cycle would repeat. Until one day, I decided enough was enough. Ryan's birthday was coming up. He started hinting at a low-key dinner with the boys. I said, let me help you set it up. He picked the place, trendy tapas joint downtown. Sent out the invites, can't wait to celebrate. I texted everyone in the group chat privately with just one message. This time, we all forget our wallets. Everyone was in. The night of the dinner, Ryan showed up in his best jacket, talking about how this year was his glowed-up year. He ordered drinks, appetizers for the table, 3 rounds of food. We all followed along, cheerful, generous, ordering big, laughing louder. The check came. He sat back and said, all right, what's the damage? The waiter placed the bill. $487 before tip. Ryan reached for his phone casually. Okay, let's split. And then we hit him with it. One by one. Damn, I left my wallet in the car. I forgot I moved all my cash to savings. My card's maxed, just got hit with rent. Silence. Ryan blinked. Then he laughed. Okay, y'all are messing with me. We smiled. But no one moved. The waiter came back. Ryan looked up, sweating now. So, this is a prank, right? The waiter said, we don't split bills over 6 people, sir. Ryan turned red. Started muttering, I mean, I can cover it, but like, not all of it. That's when Matt, our quietest friend, leaned in and said, you owe me $64 from ramen night. Add that to the bill. Another one chimed in. You said you'd Venmo me for sushi 6 weeks ago. Didn't happen? The entire table turned into a receipt printer. In the end, he paid. All of it. We tipped extra, with cash, and walked out. Ryan sat there, staring at the check folder like it had personally betrayed him. He didn't talk to us for a while. Eventually, he came back around. More humble. More self-aware. And, shocker, started paying his share. Turns out, all it took was his own party becoming the bill he'd been ducking for years. If someone never learns the cost of their actions, sometimes you just have to let them pay for it. Up next, a group project slacker who thought he could ride the wave to an A. Until we let him sink in front of the whole class. If you've ever done a group project in college, you already know what hell looks like. One person does 70% of the work. 2 people help, kind of. And then there's always the ghost. In our case, the ghost had a name, Tyler. It was a capstone design course. Huge part of our final grade. 4-person group. Big presentation at the end, live demo, panel of professors. We divided up the work fairly. Design, research, coding, testing. Tyler volunteered for slide formatting and voiceover. That should have been a red flag. But hey, we were hopeful. Week after week, we met in the library, worked late, revised the prototype. Tyler. He showed up twice. Once to ask if we'd figured out the hard stuff yet. And once to tell us he was super slammed but still thinking about fonts. He never answered the group chat. Didn't test the software. Didn't contribute to the written report. But when the time came to prepare the final presentation, he suddenly got active. He messaged us. Hey, I can totally do the talking part. You guys just stand with me. Excuse me? He wanted to be the face of the work he didn't do. We were tired, stressed, and mad. So we made a quiet decision. We let him think he'd present. We even let him believe the professors wanted him to speak, since he's confident and good under pressure. The night before the demo, we uploaded a new slide deck. The final version without speaker notes. He didn't notice. Presentation day? We were in a large lecture hall. Professors at a long table. Students watching. Tyler steps up with full swagger. We stand behind him, smiling politely. He opens the slides. And immediately freezes. The intro slide had one bullet. Overview of our system and testing parameters. Tyler stares. Mumbles something about real-time data flows. Starts throwing out buzzwords. Efficiency, integration, cloud-based. A professor interrupts. Can you clarify what specific testing methods you used to evaluate the prototype? Tyler blinks. We used metrics. Another professor leans in. What metrics? Dead silence. We let it happen. He fumbled. He panicked. He tried to click to the next slide and found it filled with diagrams he'd never seen. He butchered the explanation, got called out for not knowing the code base, admitted he hadn't touched the GitHub repo. It was brutal. It was beautiful. When it ended, the lead professor sighed and said, "You clearly weren't involved. I'm grading your teammates separately." That was the moment Tyler looked at us. We just smiled. After class, he confronted us. "You guys set me up." I said, "Nope, you set yourself up. We just stopped saving you." Tyler passed the course, barely. The rest of us got top marks. And a quiet round of applause from another group who'd been dealing with the same type of guy. Sometimes, revenge doesn't require raising your voice. Just stop holding the net when someone's jumping off a ledge. Thanks for spending some time with us here on TalkBacks, where revenge isn't just a fantasy. It's a reminder that power can shift with a single move. If you enjoyed today's stories, hit that like button and drop your thoughts in the comments. I read everyone. And hey, if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time. New episodes every week, and you won't want to miss what's next. See you soon.